Actually, Xiaozi's got a new expansion here at the inside 5 o'clock position, or the 5:30 position. And it looks like Xiaozi might be ready for this attack. He's got 5 lurkers, though. I don't know if they're stop lurkers this time. Looks like he's not going to try to stop them. He's going to just put them over here to protect. Meanwhile, Defiler, 2 Defilers up for Xiaozi also. And this might make the difference against this huge swarm of Hydras coming up, and a great swarm going off on those lurkers. Dark swarm over lurkers, and the lurkers, of course, will be able to kill Hydralisks under their dark swarm with impunity. And I have to say, this is the first time I've ever said it. It might be the first time you've ever heard it. Dark swarm lurkers killing Hydralisks. Amazing play here. But it looks like the Hydras have managed to pick off the hatchery here at the 5 o'clock position, so setting back Xiaozi a little bit. Just a real back and forth game here. And Ultralisks are out for Xiaozi rather, and it looks like he is dedicating to Ling Ultras, and he's building putting a couple of Defilers up towards the northern side. Perhaps he's thinking about another attack here. Meanwhile, lurkers have been produced and are being produced for Satanic also, so perhaps also afraid of a ground attack. And meanwhile, he's bringing some units home to defend here. A lot of lurkers. Looks like he converted all of his Hydras to his lurkers. That's what he's been saving his gas for, and he's going to have he's going to need these lurkers to defend against these incoming group of Ultralisks here. 3 Ultralisks, 4 Ultralisks, and a bunch of Zerglings here. Let's see if we can get a Dark Swarm here on time. Looks like the Zerglings are about to go into a huge group of lurkers here, just killing off those Zerglings in one hit. And play going off on the Hydralisk. Looks like they didn't catch too many units though. And meanwhile, a drop being set up by Satanic here. He's loading up a lot of units into his Overlords. That's why he got speed partially also so he could do a drop here. And we'll see if he decides to drop the 7 o'clock position. The 7 o'clock position is quite vulnerable and only has 4 lurkers at the front door, or if he decides to go for a drop in the main even. And the main is also quite vulnerable, of course, against any kind of attack. Meanwhile, yeah, we are seeing the Overlords moving south now to the 7 o'clock position. New expansion being built for Xiaozi at the inside at the 6:30 position. His lurker's been moved there, so this base is absolutely undefended. He's not even going to see this coming. I don't think he has vision of this area here, and these Hydras are going to get in unimpeded. Meanwhile, the Devourers are moving over here, but they're not going to be able to defend against Hydralisks, of course. Looks like these Hydras are going to just tear apart the 7 o'clock position. So Satanic getting in a great counterattack after Xiaozi lost his Ultralisk. And it looks like Xiaozi has just a lot of Ultralisks here, but he's not moving towards this area to defend. They are quite slow to move. And it looks like Satanic will be able to pick off this entire base here. And it looks like actually Xiaozi might be going for an attack at this new expansion here at the 9 once again. And he's got more Ultras up now. And they're +3/+2. It looks like he got the +2 armor bonus for his Ultras. Yeah, and meanwhile, still a lot of lurkers. No, actually, not so many lurkers. Only 3 lurkers left for Satanic at his front door. And if Xiaozi manages to kill those 3 lurkers, he could tear into his base with almost impunity here, especially if he gets a Dark Swarm to deal with a couple of Hydras that are around. It looks like he is about to go in for an attack. Meanwhile, yeah, Satanic not pursuing the attack down the ramp. Dark Swarm going off on those lurkers there, on the Hydralisks and on the Ultralisks. The attack going in here, but inexplicably, I don't know why, Xiaozi actually retreated there. So Xiaozi, I felt like he could have committed there. He definitely had. Perhaps he didn't have enough Zerglings actually to deal with the incoming Zerglings. Although that Dark Swarm was protecting his units quite well, he actually is retreating there. Meanwhile, he's got his lurkers up in a good position here, and he's smartly keeping Defilers at each of his bases so that he can defend and just place Dark Storms on these lurkers to deal with incoming Hydralisks. It looks like most of the Hydralisks are dead here, so I assume they did go for an attack that failed against Xiaozi, or they were picked up possibly. Yeah, they were picked up actually, so good conservation of units here by Satanic. And I think both players are just content to build up here. 142 out of 142 for Satanic, and 138 here for Xiaozi, so a very close game here. Both players, well actually, yeah, both players at 4 bases right now. Although it looks like the natural expansions and the mains are completely mined out for both players. Still a couple of mineral patches left here. But yeah, so they're both running off of 2 bases that still have minerals. And another attack force being made here at the 25th minute for Xiaozi. A lot of Ultralisks and Zerglings bunching up here for an attack from the north side. And this is what I was saying. Rush Hour, there's just so many ways of attacking, so many avenues of attack. But it looks like both players are quite good on the defense here. looks like Satanik's left a lot of lurkers at each of the positions where there is an avenue of attack, and he's got the interior supply lines, and by that I mean he can move his units from his bases at defense, whereas from the inside, whereas Xiaozi has the external supply line, so it means he has a longer supply route to get to Satanik's bases. And looks like a big drop being set up for Xiaozi here, for Satanik here on Xiaozi's base, and looks like he's going to be going for either the natural or the main base here. He could be going for a devastating attack on the main here. Huge drop being set up, and these Ultras are desperately trying to come back. They see all these Overlords coming, and my goodness, what can he do about this? Huge drop, but some of these Ultras, some of these Overlords are empty, so perhaps not as big as I thought. And meanwhile, he's targeting the Greater Spire here. Ultras are trying to come back to defend, but they're only going to be able to run up the ramp one at a time here, although they are getting up in sufficient numbers. I don't know how the ground battle is going here. Huge battle. Plague going off, though. Plague going off. I'm not sure who sent that plague going. Pretty sure it was Xiaozi's plague going off. Yeah, Xiaozi's plague going off on the Devourers. They're going to be quite damaged here. And these Mulists also are getting killed off here at the ramp. But it looks like, actually it looks like the inside part of the attack was cleaned out pretty much. Looks like 2 evolution chambers got taken down and the Greater Spire. Meanwhile, a couple more units remaining here. Dark Swarm going off on the lone Hydralisk, so he can get killed with impunity here. A couple more Mulisks coming in for Satanik, though, and Satanik might be able to pick off some more buildings with these Mulisks, and Xiaozi's in big trouble. Xiaozi's down to 85 food count. He's actually just produced Zerglings, so he's not able to deal with these Mulisks. Actually, the Overlords were perhaps a distraction. Perhaps Satanik purposely brought more Overlords than he needed, just so Xiaozi would be scared into building a lot of ground units, which is what he did exactly. And these Overlords now retreating because now the Mulists have free reign over the air here. And I actually don't see how. And the amazing thing is this: Xiaozi has lost his spire, so he can't build any more Mulists. But a plague has gone off on these Mulisks, and the Defiler gets executed, but these Defilers are protecting themselves with a Dark Swarm, and looks like the Hydra's going down for Xiaozi, so temporarily Xiaozi has no anti-air capacity. He can't build Mulisks, and he can't build Hydralisks. Let's see if he's building a replacement Spire or a replacement tech buildings. Looks like he is getting a replacement Spire at this 530 position. No Hydralisk then going up for him, so he's going to be able to produce some Mulisks, but it's going to be a while before he gets them in sufficient number. A Defiler coming up to get another Plague off on these Mulisks, so when he finally gets them up, these Mulisks will be easy to kill. But meanwhile, Hydralisk now coming in for Satanik, and oh man, huge trouble for Tot Xiaozi here. Xiaozi is going to lose this entire main, and he lost all of his buildings in his main, all of his evolution chambers, his spawning pool, everything. The only lucky thing for him is that his hive was as his natural expansion here. But looks like these Mulisks now going in for an attack at the south here at the 530 position. Swarm has gone off on all the drones here. Great swarm by Xiaozi covering his own drones here. So these drones are just like business as usual. They're just still mining here under the protection of this swarm. Great swarm there. Just really good Defiler play. It looks like he's consuming a Lurker just to get the energy. Wow, to cast a plague there. Good sacrifice by great sacrifice by Xiaozi. He consumed a Lurker, guys. He consumed a Lurker, so you could get set off an amazing plague, but all these Mulists are plagues, so I guess it was cost effective. Meanwhile, Satanik's dropping a bunch of Hydralisks here to try to finish the deal here, but the plague is also on his own buildings also, so the lair and the sunken colonies were quite depleted in terms of HP because of this plague, and looks like now these Hydras are going to try to clean up the deal here. Looks like these 3 Lurkers are warding them off though, and looks like these Mulists it looks like Satanik might be a little fearful of committing his Mulists because of how low in HP they are. Look at that. Just a couple of Mulisk do melt them away here. So he's right in being afraid of committing these very damaged Mulisks. Of course, one thing he could do is morph them into Devourers or Guardians, and they would have full health again. Yeah, meanwhile, Xiaozi's still in huge trouble. He's managed to hold off this attack temporarily at his expansion, although I do feel Satanik would have been wise to keep pressing there. Or at this location, actually. This location's the natural expansion is entirely undefended. So I'm a little surprised that Satanik didn't decide to attack this position here. But looks like, yeah, Xiaozi barely managed to ward off this attack. He's lost his Spire once again. And let's see if he's rebuilding any of his tech buildings. A Spire going up here finally at the 7 o'clock position. And wow, I feel that actually Play.Satanik could go in for the killing blow, but it looks like he's taking this chance to get his, another expansion here at the 12 o'clock position. and he's just outproducing and out macroing Xiaozi significantly here. I mean, he can expand around the entire map right now with impunity because really Xiaozi has no offensive units. He has a lot of defensive units, but look at his food counts, 91, and it's probably mostly drones here. And a couple of defilers are what's standing between him and elimination. But looks like he's getting another hive here, so he's getting a backup hive amazingly at this at this 530 position. And in Zerg versus Zerg, perhaps he thinks that rightfully so, that bases are easily killed, so he's deciding to get some backup buildings just in case that this base goes down, which it is quite vulnerable right now, and he doesn't want to spend more resources to defend the hive. In any case, though, there's a kind of a calm before the storm here as both sides are building up. I don't think in pro-Korean gaming